for the national ball final between Dalkeith and Strathaven. Presentations will take place around about 4:45 on the main pitch at half-time between Scotland and Italy women today in the Six Nations.
We're live at Murrayfield for the first of 8 finals to be played here at the Murrayfield campus over the next 6 days. And most of those games will be played next weekend on Silver Saturday, but we get the ball rolling a week early with the Women's National Bowl Final, moved to today as a precursor to the Scotland Women's Six Nations game against Italy, which kicks off next door at Hive Stadium at 3 o'clock. All just adding to the excitement and the occasion for these two teams as Dalkeith and Strathaven go head-to-head in the Women's National Bowl Final. Well, last year's beaten finalist Dalkeith romped through the pool stages, scoring an incredible 290 points on their way to victories over Berwick, Lasswade, Dunfermline and Mid-Argyll. It's been a great season already for Dalkeith, who topped their pool in the Eastern Midlands Aspiring League before going on to beat RDVC in the first place playoff last December. So League and Cup double, the goal for the Dalkeith side today. The National Bowl, the first real foray into competitive rugby for Strathaven Ravens. They did also play in the Aspiring League, but only formed 14 months ago. Went through the pool stages unbeaten, seeing off Gala, Caledonian Thebans and Carrick, conceding only 32 points on their way to the final. So we're all set for what should be a fantastic start to Cup Finals week, in ideal conditions here on the Murrayfield back pitches. And the sides just making their way across to the pitch. Let's have a look at the two teams now. Dalkeith, coached by Stephen Halliday, great servant of the game, the youth volunteer of the season for Scottish Rugby. And he said, we experienced the bowl final last year, we're on the losing side. The team have been determined to try and reverse that situation this season, and it would cap off what's been a brilliant second season for the squad. And they start with a front row of captain Yvonne McCarthy, Debbie Dunbar and Alison Nangle, second row pairing of Ciara Turner and Ailey Duff, and a back row of Rebecca Pennycook, Lindsay Halliday and Kayleigh Roach. Half-back partnership of Amy McNamara and Lee Bell. Centre pairing of Sarah Hayhurst and Rachel McIntosh. Player of the match in last year's final, scoring 4 tries in a losing effort, beaten 36-29 by Mark. And a back three of Claire Brunton, Abby Campbell and Tegan McLean. On the bench for Dalkeith, Rebecca Robertson, Natasha Williamson, Georgia Vickery, Julie Lyons and Melissa Cameron. For Strathaven, front row, Isla Robertson, captain Rachel Rawlinson and Leslie Barry. Second row, Carolyn Collard and Julia Matheson. In the back row, Joe Martin, Steph Davidson and Erin Hipson. Priya Richardson and Claire Davidson are half-backs. Jen Scally and Fanny Alou in the centres, with Isla McStay, Margaret Maitland and Caitlin Watt in the back three. On the bench, Joe Young, Louise Cook, Katie Dawson, Lindsay Gavin, Katie Russell, Lee Watt and Pauline Black. Referee today, Alex Haskett, assisted by Leanne Steele and Gillian Frew, with Marcia Peasley the fourth official. And it will be Strathaven to kick off from right to left as we watch from our commentary position, wearing blue and yellow. Claire Davidson. In fact, as Caitlin Watt gets the match underway, Dalkeith wearing their green and red strips. And with first possession, although the ball knocked on. We'll have our first set piece of the game. The wind, which I don't think will cause too many problems, seems to be blowing straight across the pitch towards Scottish Gas Murrayfield. The first attacking opportunity for Strathaven. Priya Richardson to feed the scrum. Erin Hipson at number 8. Pressure comes on from Dalkeith. The response so from Strathaven, holding firm. Out it comes along the back line, out into the centres, as Fanny Alou is through, the ball out to the left wing, Margaret Maitland. The ball just travelling forward. Strathaven look to get the ball wide. from the scrum. So another scrum, this time Dalkeith ball. Dalkeith's squad contains 13 players who featured in last season's final, including, as I mentioned, Rachel McIntosh, the outside centre, scoring 4 tries in that losing effort. So certainly one of the players for Strathaven to keep a close eye on today. Amy McNamara with the feed, out it goes to Lee Bell. Just bangs that ball off downfield, kind bounce for Caitlin Watt. The Strathaven fullback heads off across field. It's a good tackle by Sarah Hayhurst. The referee again playing an advantage. This is with Strathaven as Isla McStay heads off across field, striding through tackles up towards halfway. Strathaven keeping things tight through the forwards. Leslie Barry now. Slow ball for Richardson, so again uses the forwards. Good footwork up over halfway. Tackle made by Alison Nangle. And Dalkeith loose head. And there's space out here for Strathaven. They can get the ball into the wide channels. Off they go. Bundled into touch. Margaret Maitland was there on hand in support, but couldn't quite get the ball into the hands of the left wing. Caitlin Watt, it was with the break up the left touchline for Strathaven. They recognised the space was out wide, just couldn't quite get the ball there. Use the left wing, Maitland. Ball stolen at the front by Strathaven, so it's still the South Lanarkshire side on the attack, just outside the 22. Turned over though by Dalkeith, ball knocked on. Perhaps a double knock on, so unable to play any advantage. Referee Alex Haskett signalling a scrum. Again, Dalkeith ball. So Dalkeith kicked downfield from a similar position a moment or two ago. They're under pressure from that Strathaven scrum, but does come back on the Dalkeith side, trying to get it out to that left touchline. A little untidy. The referee says, well, it was in fact knocked on by Tegan McLean. So Dalkeith trying to play the ball out from their 22. Making a mistake, and that just hands possession back to Strathaven. Quick chat there between Priya Richardson and Claire Davidson. The fly half standing directly behind the scrum. Most of the Strathaven back division strung across to the left in our commentary position. This time, the Dalkeith scrum applying the pressure, but it does come out and off goes Strathaven to the right. Couldn't be taken cleanly by Jen Scally, the vice captain. Another knock on by Strathaven. So scrum for Dalkeith. Dalkeith kicked the ball downfield from the first scrum in a similar position and then opted to play out of their 22. The error handing possession back to Strathaven. So let's see what Dalkeith opt to do here. The back division standing very flat. An untidy ball at the base, couldn't be taken cleanly by Avi McNamara. So again, it's Strathaven with the scrum in a very good attacking position. They looked dangerous when they got the ball out into the wide channels. Caitlin Watt, the fullback, involved with their first real attack. Again, steady scrum, picked up at the base this time by Erin Hipson, and off she goes up into the 22. Referee playing an advantage. It's a free ball here for Strathaven. The forwards queuing up, and it's Isla Robertson, the vice captain, crashes into contact. Priya Richardson sweeps the ball out to Julia Matheson this time. Dumped in the tackle by Lee Bell. Dalkeith fly half. And then Strathaven again, keeping things tight through the forwards. They're trying to narrow that Dalkeith defence. Now they look to go a little wider. And Jen Scally, inside centre. Referee still playing an advantage. So Strathaven can continue to attack here. Fullback Caitlin Watt again involved, tries to get the hands free, get the ball away, and link with Margaret Maitland. Now Maitland will get the opportunity, not much space to play with. Good footwork though by the left wing. Back to Caitlin Watt. Fullback looking dangerous, hits the ball away. Strathaven getting back inside that Dalkeith 22. Priya Richardson out to the open side flanker, Steph Davidson. Alison Nangle there trying to win possession back for Dalkeith, but Strathaven going through the phases here. Couldn't be taken cleanly though by Claire Davidson. The referee, Alex Haskett, already signalled that advantage was over. So Dalkeith survive and will have a scrum centre field just outside their 22. About 9 minutes played in this Women's National Bowl final, still scoreless. Strathaven having the better of the opening exchanges, again trying to apply pressure to that Dalkeith scrum. The Midlothian side get that ball away. Possession lost though by Lee Bell as she tried to connect with her centres. It's back with Strathaven. They go to the right, going backwards. The referee signalling no advantage. We'll come back for the Strathaven scrum. Well, for a number of scrums so far, it's generally the side who are not feeding the ball, who have had the upper hand. So Dalkeith will look to pressurise this, but Strathaven with options both ways. Again, the back division strung across to the left. I do wonder if we'll see the number 8, Erin Hipson, again pick up and head right. Priya Richardson, well no, looks like Richardson will come left out to Claire Davidson, Jen Scally. Elu tries to get the ball out to Margaret Maitland. It's been picked up by Caitlin Watt. Good work by the fullback. The footwork again. In goes Lee Bell to try and strip that ball for Dalkeith. Caitlin Watt gets that ball back, and in fact the referee signalling a high tackle. Good work again by the Strathaven fullback, and off they go this time through Jen Scally. The inside centre and vice captain very close to the try line. Catching that Dalkeith defence napping from the penalty, but holding on the deck. Great defence by Dalkeith. They win a penalty at the breakdown, but good work by Jen Scally. Strathaven inside centre. Almost to the try line, a powerful carry. It's a good clearing kick from the penalty. Long way from the centre of the pitch out to the touchline, and that's into the breeze here over the back pitches at Murrayfield as the sun comes back out. Ideal conditions for this one. Certainly better than the conditions for the same final last year. So Debbie Dunbar, the Dalkeith hooker. Second line out through. The first one stolen by Strathaven. That time Dalkeith secure at the front. Throw not straight. So Strathaven line out. Captain Rachel Rawlinson. That looked like a good throw, but just past the fingertips. I think this will come back on the Dalkeith side. Well, Strathaven over-eager, trying to win possession back. Hands in the ruck, so another penalty to Dalkeith. Bell just picking her spot down the right-hand touchline. Finds a good touch just right in front of the commentary position. Just around about that Dalkeith 10-metre line. So Debbie Dunbar again, Dalkeith hooker. Goes to the front, contested by Strathaven. Well won though by Dalkeith. And away goes Amy McNamara. Good work by the scrum half. Takes play up to halfway. Yvonne McCarthy, the captain, has to go in. Well, in fact, that's Lindsay Halliday, who played fly half in last season's final. She's a physiotherapist. Playing open side flanker today. Dalkeith look to beat the ball through the hands. Strathaven looking a little short of defenders out there. Good interplay between the forwards and backs, and off goes Amy McNamara again. Absolutely hammered in the tackle by Julia Matheson. Forces the knock on. It's the first time we've really seen Dalkeith with ball in hand, making good ground. Forwards and backs linking. Shuddering tackle by Julia Matheson, bringing play to a halt. Here goes Strathaven again, down that right-hand side. Caitlin Watt, the fullback, has been heavily involved in all the Strathaven attacking plays so far. Another penalty though at the breakdown. Holding on. And Dalkeith, I thought they would look to play quickly here. Just the tap by Amy McNamara. It's a good carry. Just shifting the ball on. We'll go a little wider. Debbie Dunbar, the hooker. Ellie Duff alongside her. It's been stripped though by Strathaven in the tackle. Here they go again, up to halfway. That's a great carry. I think Leslie Barry. Well, the referee happy with that, as Strathaven were a bit slow to play the ball away. Just explaining to the Strathaven side, so Dalkeith quite within the rights to come round the back of the breakdown there, disrupting the Strathaven scrum half, Priya Richardson. Wins possession back for Dalkeith in a scrum. Centre field. So still no score, 16 minutes into the game. As I mentioned at the start, Dalkeith scoring 290 points in their 4 games so far in the Cup, but Strathaven conceding only 32 in defence. Again, the pressure coming on from Strathaven. Dalkeith having to dig that one back. Here they go through Amy McNamara. Certainly looks to be one of their danger players at scrum half. Out now to last season's player of the match, Rachel McIntosh. Outside centre. Tried to force the offload, didn't go to hand. Possession back with Strathaven.
Look where the space is, girlies! Keep it tight, ladies. Right! We good? Let's think. Right! Set!
Cree Richardson feeds that ball in again. It's a solid scrum by Strathaven as the scrum half sweeps the ball out to Claire Davidson. That's a good counter ruck by Dalkeith. Strathaven done well to, well no, they haven't, they've lost possession there as away goes Kaylee Roach, the Dalkeith number 8, and then Amy McNamara again, scrum half. Knocked on by McNamara. Another scrum for Strathaven, centre field. Two relatively new sides. Strathaven forming only 14 months ago, February of 2024. Already built up a squad of around 40 players. Dalkeith originally formed back in 1994 and ran successfully for many years, merged with Pennycook to become Midlothian Ladies, eventually folding in 2006, but we got the team up and running again back in 2023, which is Dalkeith's 125th season. We'll get the scrum down at the second time of asking. Back it comes for Cree Richardson, and off she goes. That's the number 8, Erin Hipson. It's a good carry up over halfway. Slow ball here for Strathaven. It's back to go to the forwards. That's a big tackle there by Ciara Turner, the Dalkeith lock. And that wins possession back for Dalkeith, so the Midlothian side just quickly transitioning into attacking shape, and Sarah Hayhurst out to her centre partner Rachel McIntosh. Off she goes, bursting through tackles, scored 4 tries in the final last year. Will she be the first try scorer? She's taken down by her opposite number, Fanny Alou. That's a great tackle by the Strathaven outside centre. It looked certain that Rachel McIntosh would score. The two number 13s going head to head. And it's Fanny Alou, who hails from near Paris, over here playing her rugby in Strathaven. And she saves the day for Strathaven on that occasion. Still though, Dalkeith with the penalty. Can they take advantage? Up to the forwards, and Lindsay Halliday driving towards the line. Strathaven trying to force her into touch. Up goes the flag. Well, in fact, I think the try has been awarded. It has, in fact. Lindsay Halliday, the try scorer. So Dalkeith denied as Rachel McIntosh raced downfield But just a moment later from the tap penalty, and I think it's Lindsay Halliday, the open side flanker. With the first try of the game, it's taken us 21 minutes. But it's Dalkeith who take first blood, and they lead by 5 points to 0 in this Women's National Bowl final. Bell with the conversion attempt. That's a good kick from out wide. Up go the flags. That is an exceptional conversion. 5 metres in from the right hand touchline. Bell connected perfectly, wind assisted between the uprights, and Dalkeith lead by 7. Strathaven have had most of the play in the opening stages of this one, but it's Dalkeith with the first try of the day, and it was a cracker set up by the break from Rachel McIntosh. She was denied close to the line, but from the tap penalty, Dalkeith going over through Lindsay Halliday, converted by Lee Bell. Dalkeith 7, Strathaven 0, and it's Dalkeith is growing into this game. Big carry now by Alison Nangle. High tackle by Strathaven. It's another penalty for Dalkeith. Shaping to kick for touch, but the tap again, and away goes Amy McNamara, the scrum half. She's looked dangerous in possession. Takes play up over halfway. Good quick ball presentation. Now it's the forwards. Nangle again. Dalkeith on the Strathaven 10 metre line. Amy McNamara heavily involved in the game. The referee, Alex Haskett, blows the whistle. This play was a little too close to an injured player. It looks like one of the Strathaven players down over on the far side, Scottish Gas Murrayfield side of the pitch. I think that is the fullback. It's Caitlin Watt. Looks like she is leaving the field of play. She's looked good in the number 15 jersey for Strathaven. 2 or 3 good runs taking play up into the Dalkeith 22. The closest Strathaven came to scoring was through Jen Scally. Caught the Dalkeith defence napping from a penalty. It stopped just short. So Dalkeith who lead by 7. I'll have the scrum feed here. Growing in confidence. Rachel McIntosh, the outside centre, lying very flat. And so the Dalkeith use their outside centre or go in behind. Out it comes to Lee Bell. Well, they go in behind McIntosh to Sarah Hayhurst, and then Tegan McLean angling back infield, the fullback. Not seen too much of McLean so far. It's a good carry though by the fullback. Sets up a position centre field. There's space out on the left if Dalkeith can get the ball out there. Come to the right instead through Rachel McIntosh. Again, gets the hands free in the tackle out to Abby Campbell. And then Amy McNamara, I think she spots some space round the side of the breakdown. Links again with Rachel McIntosh. And Sarah Hayhurst. Dalkeith going through phases here, and Amy McNamara, the scrum half. Third involvement in the action here. And Alison Nangle. Dalkeith just building pressure inside the Strathaven 22, looking for their second score. Out to Sarah Hayhurst. Gets the hands free and links with Kaylee Roach. Referee playing an advantage here. There are a couple of Dalkeith players out on the left. If they can get the ball there, it can't be taken by Tegan McLean. But it's picked up instead by Claire Brunton. Shut down by Strathaven. I think the referee's still playing an advantage. Inside the 22, they go again. Strong carry towards the line. And the referee awards the try. Dalkeith over for their second try. We'll see who comes up last with the ball. Well, it took Dalkeith some time to grow into this game. In the last 5 minutes or so, certainly been the better of the two sides, and that's their second try. Going through several phases, Amy McNamara, Rachel McIntosh, Sarah Hayhurst heavily involved. Claire Brunton denied over on the far side. When the ball came back to the forwards, they powered their way over for that second score for Dalkeith. Bring you confirmation of the try scorer when we can. Well, this time the conversion attempt unsuccessful. With 28 minutes played here in this Women's National Bowl final, it's Dalkeith who now lead by 12 points to 0. So Strathaven, it's a good restart, just went the 10, but the chase, it's not quite picking up quick enough by Strathaven. Only have one possession over on the far side. But bundled into touch. Referee, I think, signalling a knock on. This looks like a Strathaven scrum. Is a line out, Dalkeith line out. That's a good take at the front by Kaylee Roach. Juggled, but out it goes. It's been taken well by Rachel McIntosh. Again, looking to get the hands free. The outside centre, always looking to keep the ball alive. Sucking in defenders and then shifting the ball on. Amy McNamara, a real handful at scrum half for Dalkeith. Abby Campbell continues the good work up to halfway. Amy McNamara, what's been turned over. Good work by Claire Davidson at the breakdown for Strathaven. Erin Hipson now the number 8. Dalkeith trying to hold her up. Ball does come back on the Strathaven side though. Claire Davidson goes into play scrum half again. Now it's Priya Richardson. A quick look to the left. Off she goes to the right. Taken high above her head by Leslie Barry. The tight head prop. Referee playing an advantage. Is a good carry by Barry. Dalkeith looking to contest that at the breakdown again. Referee comes back. Penalty for the high tackle. pulling Priya Richardson back to, well, in fact it's Claire Davidson back to where the infringement took place. She just taps, gives the ball to vice captain Isla Robertson. Davidson again in playing scrum half, uses the hooker Rachel Rawlinson, the captain this time. Strathaven just working their way forward towards the Dalkeith 22, taking their time, getting their forward pod set. It's another strong carry. Good quick ball presentation, Davidson in there. Good tackle by Kaylee Roach. Davidson again just taking her time. It's the forward set out to go a little wider this time. That's Katie Russell on the field for Strathaven now after the loss of Caitlin Watt. It's forced a rejig, I think, in the back division. Priya Richardson, the scrum half, who just took the ball there, now playing a little wider. Looks like Claire Davidson playing at scrum half, and it's Jen Scally again, looking to keep the pace of the game up here for Strathaven. The vice captain inside centre, holding on though, not rolling away. I thought the penalty awarded to Dalkeith. It's still with Strathaven, and away goes Scally again. And up goes Strathaven into the 22 through the forwards over on the far side. Another penalty conceded by Dalkeith. So what can Strathaven make of this? Tap and go again. And again it's Scally looking to connect. Further out, are they over that try line? Up go the arms, and up goes the referee's arm. Strathaven cross for their first try of the match. Well deserved. Had all the play in the opening stages. Conceded 2 tries to Dalkeith, but they have their reply. The conversion from out in front. Claire Davidson. Should be fairly regulation, you would think. Right in front of the posts. Catches that one. Well, it's come off the upright. Commentator's curse. It's Dalkeith 12, Strathaven 5. A well-deserved score for Strathaven. Half time then here on the Murrayfield back pitches. They start taken well by Strathaven. They're feeling more confident. That 5 points in the bag, but knocked on in the tackle. That hands possession back to Dalkeith. Desperate to make amends for that loss which came with the last play of the game last season. It was tied at 29 all. Marr with the score at the death, denying Dalkeith. What can they mount from this scrum? Amy McNamara has certainly been one of the better players in Dalkeith colours. Leaves the ball for her number 8, Kaylee Roach, and off goes Roach. Links now with McNamara. Good footwork by the scrum half. Up into the 22. Taken down, an important tackle by Strathaven. Big carry by Alison Nangle now. And Dalkeith going very close. Number strung across to the right for Dalkeith, but again keeping things tight for now with Rachel McIntosh. Just right in front of the posts. Now to Sarah Hayhurst now. Tries to get the ball free It bounces up kindly for McNamara, looking for space, weaves her way through the defence, and McNamara scores. That's Dalkeith's third try. Good ball retention again by Dalkeith, and Amy McNamara, who's been excellent in this first half for Dalkeith, goes over for their third try. So 17 points to 5, Dalkeith lead. 36 minutes played in this first half. £17 points to 5. Lee Bell taking her time over this, successful with her first conversion attempt, missed the second. Superb first conversion from out wide on this right touchline. He catches that nicely, just inside the right hand upright, raises the flags. And that extends the Dalkeith lead out to 19 points to 5. Maybe McNamara, the try scorer, Leavell with the conversion. So can Strathaven mount a response this side of half time? Katie Russell on for Caitlin Watt with the restart. The two props go head to head. It's another strong carry by Dalkeith. Options both ways. And Amy McNamara realised the ball had been turned over, quickly signalling to her Dalkeith teammates to transition into defence. It's with Strathaven. Turned over again by Dalkeith at the breakdown, and off goes McNamara once more. Kick through, chases her own kick. That's well tidied up at the back by Strathaven. Amy McNamara looking dangerous now every time she gets her hands on the ball. Knock on, I think, the decision by referee Alex Haskett. So Strathaven scrum. It's a minute or two left of this first 40 minutes. Claire Davidson wearing 10. I think has moved into scrum half after that enforced reshuffle after the loss of Caitlin Watt. It's been turned over at the scrum. Against the head for Dalkeith. Shifting that ball along the back line. Now Rachel McIntosh will get them some go forward. However, ball was not, it was passed forward. And with that, the referee, Alex Haskett, blows for half time. Well, it's certainly been an entertaining one here in the sunshine over on the back pitches at Murrayfield. But it's Dalkeith in control at the break. 3 tries. Opened the scoring after 22 minutes, scored again 3 or 4 minutes later. Strathaven came back with a try of their own. And the last word of the half went to Amy McNamara, real bright spot in that Dalkeith team in the scrum half, converted by Lee Bell. And at the break in this National Bowl final, the scoreline: Dalkeith 19, Strathaven 5. Join us again around about 10 minutes for second half action. I'll just. Yes, I thought because I'm kind of trying to wait until they're coming, thinking, oh, I'll just roll in and put something like they're ready and set up already. I'm doing this all the time.
Yeah, really good. Spot on with the half balance. It's a wee bit shaky at times, but nah, looks good. I'm going to shoot during the second half. Yep. So I'll see you next week. Yep. Thanks for your help. Yeah, long day, but it'll be good. Yeah, no, I should be plenty of rugby anyway. Thank you. No worries.
It's like why we play, so it's really hard for the sales sector. Yes. Right. Well done with that. The line, I'm going to give way there. Right. I'm certain it was 7 at the first one. I was my only doubt was whether it was 7 or 1, but because I'm certain it was 7. Well, I think so. Welcome back to Murrayfield. We're over on the back pitches for the Women's National Bowl final. Second half just about to kick off. Dalkeith against Strathaven, and it's Dalkeith who lead at the break, 19 points to 5. 3 tries. It's confirmation of the try scorers that we missed in that first half. It was Lindsay Halliday, Kira Turner and Amy McNamara with the scores for Dalkeith, and Fanny Alou, the outside centre, in reply for Strathaven. So Dalkeith seemingly in control, leading by 14 points, and they will kick off this second half through Lee Bell. Successful with 2 conversion attempts, one notable one from 5 metres in from the touchline. In that first half, and here we go, loud blast in the whistle of Alex Haskett signals the start of the second half, and it will be first possession for Strathaven. And out it goes to the try scorer, Fanny Alou, French player in this Strathaven side. Big tackle by Kaylee Roach, and Dalkeith number 8. And now Strathaven again through Joe Martin, the blindside flanker. But they come to right. Alison Nangle with the tackle for Dalkeith. Strathaven again through Joe Martin. The wind just picking up slightly here, sun shining. A beautiful afternoon here at Murrayfield. Strathaven just going through the phases, working their way up the middle of the pitch. Claire Davidson, who was shifted to scrum half after the loss of Caitlin Watt. And away they go again, and once more it's Fanny Alou, the outside centre, who denied her opposite number, Rachel McIntosh, in the first half with a brilliant tackle. Well, Dalkeith did score from a penalty, 2 or 3. Well, just the next play thereafter. Certainly 2 quality players wearing number 13. Steph Davidson now for Strathaven, and they made good ground, the South Lanarkshire side, up to the Dalkeith 10-metre line. That's well taken by Jen Scally as that ball seemed to dip on her, and then through the hands of Alou out to the right wing, and Isla McStay. That's a very bright opening to the second half for Strathaven. In goes Davidson. Uses Scally again on the right. Well, the referee deems that to be crossing, so that comes to naught for Strathaven. A good start to the second half. Lee Bell finds a safe touch from the penalty. So Dalkeith, who had some troubles at the line out in the first half. It looks like a change at hooker for Dalkeith at half time. It's Georgia Vickery on wearing number 20. Throws again to the front of the line out. Not straight, there was Kaylee Roach went up to take that for Dalkeith. So an option here for Strathaven. Calls from the back division to go for a scrum. The forwards have overruled them and instead gone for a line out. So Captain Rachel Rollinson better make sure here. Well, no, it's been stolen by Dalkeith, so the backs will perhaps be a little annoyed at the forwards there. It's been kicked though by Dalkeith, so possession is with Strathaven. The ball back in hands of Alou, the Strathaven try scorer. One of the key players for Strathaven, and there's another Jen Scally, the 2 centres have been good for the Strathaven side. Now they look to get the ball a little wider. Tackle made by Ciara Turner, second try scorer for Dalkeith in that first half. And away goes Strathaven through Isla McStay, the right wing. Tackle again made by Alison Nangle. She's got through a power of work in defence, the Dalkeith loose head prop. Davidson slings the ball out to Katie Russell. Scally again. Oh, just out in front of Margaret Maitland. Scally did well, just attracting defenders every time she gets her hands on the ball. Powerful looking inside centre. Tried to connect with her left wing. Just drifting out in front. Couldn't be taken by Maitland. And that hands possession back to Dalkeith. And Amy McNamara, one of the outstanding players in that first half. With ball in hand, scrum half for Dalkeith. The referee just having a quick word with both front rows. The referee not happy. I think it was probably Amy McNamara wasn't particularly happy. Told Alex Haskett didn't want to put the ball in there. Scrum wasn't steady. I don't think there's been any change in the front row for Strathaven. Started with the captain Rachel Rollinson at hooker, Isla Robertson the vice captain, and Leslie Barry at prop. For Dalkeith, Yvonne McCarthy, the captain, is propping, as is Alison Nangle. And Debbie Dunbar was the hooker. She has been replaced by Georgia Vickery at half time, and it comes then from McNamara, and off she goes to the right, quickly into running, goes round Margaret Maitland. McNamara looking for her second score. It's up against the fullback. That's a good offload, couldn't quite find the hands of the support. Snapped up by Strathaven. Amy McNamara again looking very dangerous. Dalkeith looking to win that ball back at the breakdown. It'd been knocked on though, so a Strathaven scrum. Amy McNamara proving to be a real handful for that Strathaven defence. Side's just taking their time in getting this scrum set. A well-deserved breather. Strathaven inside their 22, so the question is, will they opt to kick? Well, early engagement from Dalkeith, so free kick for Strathaven. Jen Scally screaming at the forwards just to tap and go. Kicked that ball into touch, of course, because it was from a free kick. It won't be a Dalkeith throw into the line out, but gets the ball out of the immediate danger zone for now. Georgia Vickery, his first throw after her introduction at half-time, deemed to be not straight by the referee. Just waiting here as Strathaven make a couple of changes. Looks like Caitlin Watt coming back on. Thought perhaps it'd gone off for the duration in that first half. It'll confirmation of that when we see some numbers. Back to the action now. Will Strathaven feel they can put pressure on this throw? Oh, Vickery goes to the front, tries to find Melissa Cameron. Does come back in Dalkeith hands. It's a good line by Rachel McIntosh. Slices through the defence, bumping off tacklers. McIntosh, can she get to the try line? Spinning round, almost going over the try line backward. Presents the ball. Strathaven coming round illegally. Still we go on through Dalkeith and Steph Davidson. Lindsay Halliday, rather. The referee playing an advantage again. It's with Dalkeith. Can they move that a little wider? What's in the hands of Georgia Vickery? And Vickery goes very close. But back we come. The referee was playing an advantage. Awards the penalty to Dalkeith. Vickery denied. Break and play for treatment to one of the Strathaven players. Reminder, this match moved to today, Silver Saturday taking place next week, the other 7 finals, but this one moved as a precursor to Scotland Women's Six Nations match against Italy, which kicks off at 3 o'clock next door on Hive Stadium. Reminded as I hear the pipe band warming up next door. An excellent crowd here, strung along the far touchline. Great support for both sides. So the tap penalty here for Dalkeith as they look for their 4th try. Still no change in the half-time score. 19 points to 5. Off they go to the right. Spinning through contact goes Lee Bell, and Bell makes her way to the line. And Dalkeith with the first score of the second half. And it's Lee Bell, the Dalkeith fly half. Strathaven expecting Dalkeith to go to the left. Instead they went to the right. And Lee Bell, having kicked 2 conversions in the first half, now has a try to her name, and that extends the Dalkeith lead out to 24 points to 5. Now can she add the extras? Their own try, a difficult kick from out on the right. She connected well enough, kicking into the wind, which seems to be increasing, certainly playing havoc with my notes here. So Bell unable to convert her own try, but Dalkeith now a very healthy lead, 24 points to 5. And about 12 minutes played in the second half of the Women's National Bowl final. Strathaven is trying to work out who goes where after those 2 changes. A good connection by Claire Davidson. What a good tackle by Caitlin Watt. Forces the knock on, then picked up by the Dalkeith player in front. So it's a penalty, and off goes Jen Scally again, striding towards the try line. Finds Lee Watt. Another penalty awarded. Once again, Jen Scally. Well, every time that Strathaven have been awarded a penalty, Scally is gone. And Strathaven over for the try. Great work by Jen Scally. 2 quick taps from penalties. And it looks like Erin Hipson, the number 8, who comes up with the ball. And that gets Strathaven back into this game. It is indeed Erin Hipson. So 24 points to 10, the scoreline. A quick reply by Strathaven. That Lee Bell try for Dalkeith. Erin Hipson, the Strathaven number 8. The response. Huge credit to Jen Scally in the build-up to that try. Second for Strathaven. Strathaven replacement Lindsay Gavin, wearing 19, tasked with adding the extras here. 15 metres in from the right touchline. Gavin again catches that nicely. Up go the flags. And 24 points to 12 now. The Dalkeith lead. So Erin Hipson with the Strathaven try, converted by Lindsay Gavin. 12 points the difference in what's been a very competitive game. Plenty of time left for Strathaven. A shorter restart, that's taken well by Leslie Barry. The Strathaven tight head prop, but it's been turned over by Dalkeith. Away goes Amy McNamara. So Rachel McIntosh has to go in and play scrum half. Switch of direction. Georgia Vickery, a replacement hooker, went very close in the opening stages of this second half. Bundled into touch. It will be a Strathaven line out over on the far side, the Scottish Gas Murrayfield side of the pitch. More changes for Strathaven. An overthrow, but it's been won, I think, by Strathaven. Yes, comes back on their side, so not as intended, but Strathaven with possession from the line out. In come the hands from Dalkeith, but can't force the turnover. That ball knocked on though. Strathaven look to get back on the attack, building the score by Hipson. Possession back with Dalkeith and a scrum. In a good attacking position just outside the Strathaven 22. Another change, looks like Rachel Rollinson. No, I think in fact it's Joe Martin leaving the field of play for Strathaven. You can hear Jen Scally organising this Strathaven defence. The inside centre. Strathaven centres have played well. It's Dalkeith And Amy McNamara was exceptional in that first half. Will she go to the right? Looks like she's shaping to go left out to her half-back partner, Lee Bell. Nice to feed Rachel McIntosh. Didn't quite get the timing of her run right there. Certainly a very flat pass. Well, it's knocked on by Dalkeith. Strathaven defence holding firm. Dalkeith attack just not quite firing there as they had hoped. I think McIntosh, who we know is very dangerous, as we mentioned earlier, scored 4 tries in last year's final, player of the match in the losing effort, beaten by Mar 36 points to 29. They won't want a repeat of that, and they're certainly in a strong position in this year's final. 24 points to 12 they lead, but they'll not feel secure just yet. It's a good scrum by Dalkeith. They've forced the turnover, and Amy McNamara evades the clutches of her opposite number. Off goes McNamara again, heading for the corner, cuts back in field, and just taken down by a tap tackle. Well, that was a great bit of defence there. It had to be made, that tackle by Strathaven. It looked like McNamara would go in for the score. Another lovely run by the Dalkeith scrum half. But the tap tackle denying Dalkeith their 5th try. Well, Strathaven defence never giving up. That's the 2nd time a tackle at the death has denied Dalkeith a try. No wonder they only conceded 32 points on their way to the final in their 3 games. So the kick to touch from the penalty. It will be a Strathaven throw into the line out. So about the midway point in this second half. Throw not straight. It was snapped up by Lindsay Halliday, the first try scorer of the day for Dalkeith, and who I believe played fly half last year. Looks very at home wearing that number 7 jersey. Scrum down, Dalkeith ball. Danger again for Strathaven. They'll be well aware that Amy McNamara will have half an eye on that blind side. Strathaven, just the one player across there. And it's picked up by Kaylee Roach. She'll have Amy McNamara with her. Roach goes herself. And Roach may go all the way to the corner. Cuts back in field. Taken down in the tackle, just a metre or 2 short. It's a good carry by the number 8. Back they go to that blind side. Up goes the arm. The referee awards the try. And that all came from the pick-up at the base by Kaylee Roach. Set up the position. And it's Claire Brunton, the Dalkeith right wing, with Dalkeith's 5th try. So Roach picking up from the base, taken down just a metre or 2 short, but as the ball was recycled, space on the blind side, and Dalkeith taking full advantage. Claire Brunton with the try. That extends the Dalkeith lead out to 29 points to 12. Another very difficult conversion attempt for Lee Bell. unable to add the extras. Dalkeith now with a very healthy looking 17 points advantage. It seems like a very long way back for Strathaven. They'll have to be the next team to score if they want to get themselves back into this game. The referee indicating 15 minutes left to play. A restart by Lindsay Gavin. Oh, it's a great contest on the floor. Jen Scally wins the ball, well, initially for Strathaven, and then turned over again by Dalkeith. A good tackle by Isla Robertson, the Strathaven vice-captain. Away goes Amy McNamara. Dalkeith up to halfway. McNamara out to Alison Nangle. The referee again playing an advantage as Ciara Turner strides off downfield, and then Kaylee Roach. Good work here by the Dalkeith forwards. Rebecca Pennycook, the blindside flanker, makes her way up to the Strathaven 22, but the ball dislodged in the tackle. The Dalkeith forwards linking nicely. Alison Nangle, Ciara Turner and Rebecca Pennycook all involved. Another try for Dalkeith would surely seal this game. Strathaven with the scrum just outside their own 22. Again, the pressure coming on from that Dalkeith 8. 1-2 against the head so far today, but penalised at the scrum. Strathaven keen to just tap and go, but Alex Haskett, the referee, just asking them to come back to the mark. Well, now they go from the tap, and that takes play. It's a good carry up to the Strathaven 10-metre line. They have numbers out to the right, but keeping it tight for now. In come the hands from Lindsay Halliday, trying to win possession back for Dalkeith. It does come back on the Dalkeith side. Referee just indicating, though, a head knock for one of the Strathaven players for doing the right thing and just halting play. So a penalty for the high tackle. Thankfully the Strathaven player seems to be okay. So 5 tries so far for Dalkeith. Lindsay Halliday, Ciara Turner and Amy McNamara in the first half. The reply for Strathaven through Fanny Alou. 2 conversions by Lee Bell, which meant the half-time score was 19 points to 5. That was Dalkeith who struck first in the second half through Lee Bell. Erin Hipson with the reply for Strathaven, but then Claire Brunton with the 5th Dalkeith try. That takes the Dalkeith lead out to 29 points to 12. The referee just having a word with the 2 captains. final warning there for Dalkeith. Next player will go to the sin bin. So time back on, and Strathaven with the tap, and again it's Isla Robertson, the vice captain, with a powerful carry. Hands coming in, and ultimately winning a penalty there was Rachel McIntosh. Dalkeith not hanging around, get the ball into the hands of Amy McNamara. She has looked so dangerous. It's good offload there to number 8, Kaylee Roach. Dragged down inside the 22. Back to Lindsay Halliday looking for her second try. Dalkeith now 10 metres away, looking for the try that would surely seal the final for the Midlothian side. Blasting the whistle of the referee. That ball not coming out of there towards the scrum to Strathaven. Again, solid defence by that Strathaven side, holding out Dalkeith. That keeps their hopes alive in this final. 17 points the difference. So 3 scores needed for Strathaven. As the wind continues to pick up here, sun still shining on the back pitches at Murrayfield. Strathaven scrum going backwards. They managed to get that ball out. It's hacked off downfield, just rolling towards the Strathaven 10-metre line. Picked up by Abby Campbell. Taken down by Jen Scally. Dalkeith now very much in the ascendancy. Like to get the ball out to Abby Campbell. Tries to link with Kaylee Roach. Ball lost but goes backwards. Rachel McIntosh again with the offload, finds Kaylee Roach. The number 8 is 2 players outside her, gets the ball into the hands of Amy McNamara, and the scrum half goes in for her second try. Good attacking play by Dalkeith, keeping the ball moving. Rachel McIntosh involved. Likewise Abby Campbell. But it's Amy McNamara, the Dalkeith scrum half, who goes in for the try that you've got to think will secure this Women's National Bowl for Dalkeith. So Lee Bell only 4 metres in from the left-hand touchline. Well, that's another fantastic kick by Lee Bell. Kicked one from a similar position in the first half, down the same touchline. So Bell adding the extras to Amy McNamara's try, and it's Dalkeith now leading by 36 points to 12. With only around 6 minutes left to play in this National Bowl final. The ball can't be taken cleanly by Claire Brunton. Dalkeith right wing from the restart, so scrum down, Strathaven ball. Strathaven looking for their third try of the afternoon. The scrum just outside the Dalkeith 22. Back it comes, Caitlin Watt. Left the field of play with an injury in the first half. Back involved in the action now, but knocked on in the midfield by Strathaven. So we'll have a Dalkeith scrum. And the ball in the hands of Amy McNamara, the Dalkeith scrum half, who really has been exceptional in what looks like will be a winning performance by Dalkeith. And Amy McNamara awarded the player of the match. In fact, it's a Strathaven scrum, so Amy McNamara defending here. She really has been excellent. A very deserving winner of the player of the match award, and it's McNamara who makes the tackle. She has been very prominent in attack, but on defensive duties there, marshalling her team. Ball knocked on by Strathaven. Now we will see Amy McNamara feed the Dalkeith scrum. She's been particularly dangerous from set piece. On a number of occasions, just picking up and going right herself or linking with her number 8, Kaylee Roach. Another player who's had a good showing in that Dalkeith number 8 jersey. And it comes from McNamara. Now will she go herself? No, back it goes to Lee Bell. Bit untidy, but Sarah Hayhurst doesn't knock the ball on. Tegan McLean coming back into the traffic, the Dalkeith fullback. Now there could be space out wide into the hands of Rachel McIntosh, and again fighting her way through tackles, tries to link in field, just couldn't quite hold her feet for long enough. Had to take the ball to deck. Referee playing an advantage as Abby Campbell now heads off back in field, driven back, and a good tackle by Pauline Black, wearing number 22 for Strathaven. A forward pass though, as Melissa Cameron made the pass. Applause from the Dalkeith support over on the far side as Amy McNamara announced as the player of the match. She just taps and lifts the ball up to Lindsay Halliday, who scored the first try of the day for Dalkeith. Makes good ground, the Dalkeith open side flanker. Lee Bell out to Kaylee Roach. And the number 8 eventually fights her way to deck just outside the Strathaven 22. So it's Dalkeith on the attack again. Alison Nangle now as well to get the ball back. Amy McNamara, and you can hear the shouts perhaps from out wide. The Dalkeith players calling to Lee Bell, telling the fly half. The space is out wide if they can get it there. There is still space. Dalkeith perhaps a bit too flat to get it there, so instead going to the forwards, finding Abby Campbell, the left wing, as well to offload to Sarah Hayhurst. And Amy McNamara again, the player of the match, looking for a hat-trick, still going. Eventually taken down by Fanny Ilou inside the 22. Ilou shown up well, scored a try and defended well for Strathaven. It's still Dalkeith though. And Alison Nangle striding towards the try line. Back it comes for Dalkeith. Sarah Hayhurst. Natasha Williamson now taken down just short of the Strathaven try line, but Strathaven caught offside. It's another opportunity for Dalkeith as they look for their 7th try to put the icing on the cake here. McNamara to Rachel McIntosh. Scored 4 tries last year, yet to get on the score sheet. But over she goes, Rachel McIntosh. A really strong showing by the Dalkeith outside centre. And a deserved try for Rachel McIntosh. And that's Dalkeith's 7th try. That could be the last action of the game. So Weebell taking her time over this one. Not surprisingly, she has kicked very well from the tee this afternoon. Puts that one between the uprights. And that takes the Dalkeith lead out to 43 points to 12. Still time to play here. Strathaven send that restart straight down the middle to Lindsay Halliday. Another player who's performed well for Dalkeith. The ball knocked on though. So perhaps one last attacking opportunity for Strathaven. Can they have the last word in this final? Two tries so far, Fanny Alou in the first half and Erin Hipson in the second. Solid scrum by Strathaven. To Jen Scally. That's been won though by Rachel McIntosh. The referee was playing advantage. Calls that over as Dalkeith work their way up towards the 10-metre line. Try and keep that ball in the field of play, but evades everyone with that. The referee, Alex Haskett, blows for full time. And you can see what it means to that Dalkeith side, defeated in last year's final by Mar. They were determined not to let the same happen again. And worthy winners of this Women's National Bowl final. An excellent account of themselves given by Strathaven. But it wasn't to be for the side who were only formed about 14 months ago. So a very strong showing by Strathaven, but Dalkeith not to be denied. 7 tries. Through Lindsay Halliday, Ciara Turner and Amy McNamara in the first half. Lee Bell, Claire Brunton, McNamara with her second. And then Rachel McIntosh. And Lee Bell with an excellent showing from the tee. The final score here in this Women's National Bowl final. Dalkeith 43, Strathaven 12. And the sizable crowd over on the far side are certainly entertained. Good conditions here on the Murrayfield back pitches. So Strathaven can be very proud of their contribution to this final, but Dalkeith were not to be denied. It It took them a while to get into their stride. Strathaven having the better of the opening exchanges, but once Lindsay Halliday scored 22 minutes into the game, just settling the nerves for Dalkeith. They never really looked back, led by 19 points to 5 at half time. Scored the first try of the second half. Erin Hipson's score for Strathaven 15 minutes or so into the second half, briefly giving Strathaven a glimmer of hope, but then 3 tries for Dalkeith, just stretching their lead and securing, in the end, a resounding victory. So congratulations again to Dalkeith, a well-deserved victory here on the Murrayfield back pitches. And that's it for the Women's National Bowl final. But we will be back next weekend with coverage of Silver Saturday, which sees 7 more finals take place at Scottish Gas, Murrayfield and Hive Stadium, with 4 of those matches streamed live on Scottish Rugby's YouTube channel. And we'll get the day started at 10 AM with the Women's Shield final between Greenock Wanderers and Wigtonshire, followed at 12:45 by Hillhead, Jordan Hill and Gordonians in the Men's National League Cup. And at 3:30 it's the Scottish Cup final, which will see a new name etched on the trophy, with GHA and Glasgow Accies both making their first final appearances. And we round off what is always a fantastic day of rugby at 6:30 with the Sarah Beanie Cup final, which sees a repeat of last year's contest between Watsonians and Hillhead, Jordan Hill. And that game will be shown live on BBC Alba for viewers in the UK, while our international viewers can watch all the action live here on Scottish Rugby's YouTube channel. So join us again next Saturday from just before 10 AM for a full day of cup finals on Silver Saturday. And until then, from all of us here at Murrayfield, thank you for watching.